The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
There is a false narrative about the Aaron Rodgers trade to the Jets. We'll talk about that, plus more on where the Jets go from here at quarterback. It's the Jake Asman Show on a Friday. Let's hit it and get it started.
Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby.
I wanted this job. Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. And I'm ready for it. It's all about the Jets. This is bigger than me. I look forward to this. We're the freaking New York Jets. We're built for this.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. Show number 2 on the day. A lot to talk about involving the New York Jets. If you're watching this before 7 p.m. Eastern time, tune into ESPN New York this evening. I'm hosting from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. locally here in New York City. So download the ESPN New York app to listen, or listen on your radio if you're in the tri-state area on 880 a.m. By the way, I originally said I was hosting on Mad Dog Sports Radio on Sirius XM tomorrow. That's now on Sunday. I had to swap with someone. So I'm now on from 4 to 8 p.m. on Mad Dog this Sunday. So radio tonight, radio on Sunday, and we will go from there moving forward. All right, a lot to talk about with Rodgers, and we'll continue to speculate on quarterback options and whatnot. But I want to push back on a narrative that I've seen over the last few days. So now that it's official that the Jets are moving on from Rodgers, you have so many people coming out there and saying, oh my God, what a big mistake. One of the biggest regrets every Jet fan should have. And I don't agree with any of that. Like, I don't think we as Jet fans or the Jets themselves, now the previous administration, because Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh are long gone, I don't think anyone should regret trading for Aaron Rodgers. Sometimes the right move cannot work. You know what I mean? Sometimes doing the right thing doesn't net the right result. Trading for Aaron Rodgers was the right move for the Jets. Let's not have revisionist history that somehow we all knew this was not going to work. Even the most cynical Jet fan did not expect Aaron Rodgers to come here and win 5 total games in 2 years. There's no way. It's 6 if you want to count week 1 of 2023, because technically Rodgers gets that win. But that's a Zach Wilson win. But 5 wins where he started and finished the game. There's no one in their right mind that when this deal was made thought it would ever be that bad. So ultimately, the move did not work. It failed, if you want to be blunt. But it didn't fail because the decision was poor. It failed in part due to brutal luck, and it failed due to a lot of factors none of us could have foreseen. Like the coach being fired 5 games into the season this year. Like the complete regression of the defense, the personnel moves, the kicker going from one of the best in the league, the most accurate kicker in the NFL, 35 of 38 in 2023, to phantom IR'd and eventually cut because of how bad he was. Like, no one could have foreseen this. And if you think back to where the Jets were after the 2022 season, what was the alternative? You couldn't stick with Zach Wilson for year 3. You were definitely going to move on from him. The only question was, which quarterback were you going to pursue? And remember where the Jets were after 2022. They were a 6-3 football team, 7-4 football team that then collapsed, lost their last 6, and finished 7-10. That's where they were. You know, they weren't an awful team that brought in Rodgers and was hoping he'd fix everything. They were supposed to be a team that needed to add the quarterback to finally get over the hump and at least at the bare minimum be a playoff team. So when we reflect back on this deal, I think it's so lazy for these people to come out and say, and you know who you people are, I knew this was going to fail. They shouldn't have done this. What was the alternative? Derek Carr or Jimmy Garoppolo? Both were awful options. Stick with Zach Wilson? There wasn't an alternative that had the upside of potentially bringing in Aaron Rodgers. It was the right move. It didn't work, to say the least. It obviously was an abject failure. 5 wins over 2 years. But I hate the revisionist history about it. Oh, how could they have done this? Everyone knew it wouldn't work. That's not true. We all thought at the bare minimum, a team that won 7 games in 2022 was going to be able to go out there and end the longest playoff drought in sports. And then he got hurt 4 plays in. That's no one's fault. That's just being a Jet fan. It's the most Jetsian of like things to happen. And I hate to be that guy because I'm a Jet fan and I get sick when I hear about, oh, it's so Jets. That's so Jets. But that was the ultimate so Jets because it only happens to us. And that's what sucks. But that's really where this all went on a downward spiral. One of the greatest what ifs in this franchise's history is what if Aaron Rodgers didn't rupture his Achilles on the opening drive of the season in 2023? Because if that never happened, the Jets likely make the playoffs in 2023, given how loaded that defense was and how good Zerline was. They won 7 games without a quarterback. Zach Wilson threw 9 or 8 touchdowns and had 7 picks in 2023. They won 5 games with him as the starter and 2 with Trevor Siemian. No one could have predicted a team that won 7 without Rodgers would only win 5 with him. It's just the most Jet-like thing ever, and that's what sucks. And it sucks that Rodgers gets like the brunt of all of it. It's obviously a failed, error of Jet football. But ultimately, I have no regrets with the move. It was the right move. It didn't work. But it was the right move. They had no alternative. Joe Douglas drafted Zach Wilson. He had no other choice but to swing for the fence and try and bring in a quarterback that could save his ass. Same with Robert Saleh. He was going into a 3rd year. He hadn't won. Team had lost 6 straight on his watch down the stretch. They had no choice. And you can't fault the Jets for making this move. We just watched Tom Brady go to a 7-win team in 2020 with Tampa, and he took them from outside the playoff picture to winning the Super Bowl in his first year. Peyton Manning signed with the Denver Broncos. He was there for 4 years. They won a Super Bowl. They went to another one. He broke offensive records. Joe Montana changed teams. He went to an AFC title game in Kansas City. Brett Favre went from the Jets to the Vikings. This has worked all around the league, except when the Jets do it. Matthew Stafford gets traded. He wins a Super Bowl in his first year with the Rams. I have no regrets. It's just sad that it ended this way. It's just sad that it worked out this way. It was the ultimate punch in the face. And this thing only happens to the Jets. And it all started with Rodgers getting hurt on that opening drive. You couldn't script a better night. With him coming out with the flag, the energy in that building, it was the best environment for any sporting event I have ever attended. And I've been lucky enough in my career to be at a Super Bowl, an Olympics, a World Series, multiple World Series. I've been to every, Knicks playoff game over the last year at the Garden and how electric those crowds are. And there was nothing like that home opener in 2023. It was deafening. And Rodgers going down really started this doomed 2-year run. Because it gave mulligans to the coaching staff when they probably in hindsight didn't deserve it and certainly shouldn't have received a mulligan from ownership if Woody was only going to give Robert Saleh 5 total games the following year. But it's just crazy how awful this year ended up being. How awful the last 2 years ended up being. I encourage everyone to go back and watch the highlights from the week 3 win over the Pats this year. This team was 2-1, fresh off a dominant win over the Patriots, where Aaron looked good, looked mobile, looked like his old self. Had so many plays where he escaped the pocket and threw on the run that day or that night. Had the quote the following week about how the biggest thing that the 2024 New York Jets are going to have to learn how to handle is success. Remember that? That was a real thing. This team was 2-1. And they're 9.5-point favorites at home against the Denver Broncos 10 days after that night. And that's when the spiral began. They lost a game that was inexcusable to lose. Quarterback got beat up. He never really recovered from those injuries until the season was gone. They go to London. Saleh then gets fired after that game. And the rest is history. But it all started with that injury. And it's one of the biggest what-ifs in Jet history. And, you know, in my lifetime rooting for the Jets, in honor of Valentine's Day, that's the biggest heartbreak I've ever experienced as a Jet fan. You know, that's right up there with the 2010 AFC Championship game for me. You know, right up there with Fitzpatrick blowing it against the Bills in 2015. You know, thank God I'm not truly old enough to remember Vinny's Achilles tear. But, like, it's brutal. Brutal. But Rodgers going down on the fourth play of the season. I mean, only the Jets. Every other franchise that tried to do what the Jets did with Rodgers, that had the team to do it. No one questioned if the Jets were talented enough to add Rodgers if it made sense. Every other team that did it. Kansas City with Montana, Denver with Peyton, Tampa with Brady, Los Angeles with Stafford. They all won. Favre with Minnesota. They all won. They all had great years. Some even won championships. But Jets. And it's sickening, man. It really is. Like, and it's just brutal because I genuinely feel bad for Aaron Rodgers because he came here for the right reasons. He embraced the city, embraced the fan base. He immediately said he'd never wear number 12 because of Namath. He took the largest pay cut in NFL history. It just didn't work. It was the right move. It didn't work. Like, I have zero regrets. There was no better alternative in hindsight. No one, I mean no one, is sitting here and trying to tell me with a straight face you thought it'd ever be this bad. Even this year, even the most cynic of people who hate the Jets or are negative Jet fans, you didn't think it'd be a 5-win team. Like, it's just hard to believe. It really is. And look, the one thing I'll say is I've seen a lot of people saying, well, the Jets have no future now. You know, the Rodgers trade is going to set them back. I don't think it's going to set them back at all. The Jets were bad before Aaron Rodgers. They're right back to likely being bad in 2025 without Aaron Rodgers. Like, let's be real. The only way the Jets get out of this is if they, one, hit on the head coach they just hired, and two, they eventually, if they ever want to win a championship or have deep playoff runs and have a shot at doing such a thing, find a franchise quarterback. But they have all their draft capital. They have salary cap space. Sure, they're going to have to deal with Rodgers' dead cap, either spread out over 2 years or just take it on the chin this year. But the reality is, this didn't set them back. They still have a first-round pick this year and next year, a second-round pick this year and next year. Ultimately, the cost of Aaron Rodgers was 2 second-round picks. You know, the cost of Devontae Adams, I hear, oh, what a terrible trade. I mean, yeah, it didn't work, but you had 2 third-round picks. You traded one of them. You still have a third-round pick this year. So, ultimately, time will tell where the Jets go from here, but you know, the Jets announcing that they're moving on from Aaron Rodgers. I mean, it's very easy to make the joke. The Jets announce they're going to still lose, but without Aaron Rodgers. Because that's the history of this team. Like, Aaron Rodgers didn't ruin the Jets. The Jets were the Jets before he got here. He tried to fix it. He couldn't do it. As Beningo would say, the karma of the Jets even engulf the great Aaron Rodgers. And he's right, because no other franchise would Rodgers go down 4 plays in other than this one, especially when we already went through this as fans. 99, that team was stacked. That team was one of the Super Bowl favorites. They were 12-4 the previous year. And Vinny got hurt in the first half of 99. His season was done. It just the whole thing just stinks, man. It really does. It was never supposed to be like this. Even if they never won a championship, just getting to the playoffs would have meant something for this fan base. Whoever is the quarterback that is a part of breaking the streak, whether it's a bridge quarterback this year somehow or whoever, I mean, they're part of forever in Jet history. That's how long this drought has been. And if you ever win a division title and you're the quarterback of the Jets, forget it. Hopefully better days are ahead, but it just, I'm seeing so much of the worst trade ever. How could they do it? And it's like, that's so disingenuous. Worst trade ever. How could they have made the deal? Check the tapes from all these people that say that, because I guarantee you they were not saying that when this deal happened 2 years ago. There's no chance. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want in on our raffle, we have an awesome grand prize, a signed Curtis Martin Hall of Fame helmet. Our second place prize is a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. Our third place prize is a signed Don Maynard helmet. Our fourth place prize is a Joe Willie Namath Super Bowl III replica ring. And finally, our fifth place prize is a signed Aaron Glenn Panini trading card. So, if you want in on the raffle, gift the membership to be entered, or send in a $20 super chat. And as I'm saying that, holy crap, Janice Jet is starting us off with a 10 spot of channel memberships.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, baby.
Here we go. Janice getting us rolling here on Valentine's Day. Love is in the air. G Money, Joshua Burns, Butterscotch 201, Matthew Lemke, Fishing for Bangers, Stephen Kinslow, Roy Kamulidin, Make the Jets Cool Again, Kaiser Rev, and Joe Galino, all receiving channel memberships. Congrats to everyone who got a membership, and thank you to Janice for supporting the channel. You are in our raffle with 10 more entries. Raffle will be most likely on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. You have this show, maybe a show tomorrow, but you're running out of days to enter in the raffle if you want in. Les Comar with a super chat. For me, the 2023 season was very disappointing, but the 2024 season just makes me very angry, pissed off. I think the more heartbreaking season is 2023 because of the what if. What if Rodgers didn't tear his Achilles? There's a guy on Twitter, great follow, @by Jason Klein, longtime Jet fan. He put together a list of his top 15 what if Jet moments. There's so much pain reading this. On his list, he has the Rodgers Achilles tear at number 3. Number 1 for him, top 15 Jet what ifs. Number 1, what if Bill Belichick never resigned as HC of the NYJ? Number 2, what if Vinny Testaverde didn't tear his Achilles in week 1 of 99? Now, I didn't experience 1 or 2, but I could tell you, for me, Rodgers is the worst. And that's like the biggest what if. Either that or what if the Jet defense stopped Pittsburgh on 3rd and 6 in the fourth quarter of the AFC Championship game? Because at that ball, I am convinced to this day, if we got the ball back, Sanchez was getting them down the field. He was on fire in the second half. The Jets were not losing that game if they got one more stop. Ladies and gentlemen, a holy bleep moment. Rick Kent is in our raffle with a 20 spot.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
It's time to strap up, baby. Here we go. 20 channel memberships from the Rick Kent. If you hear your name called, you thank Rick for gifting you a membership. Here we go. Drew Powers, Paul Knicks fan 73, Justin Ayers Fishing, RP in Connecticut, A Rolls Homestead, Les Mildenberg, Shlomo, Keith Jackson, Sam H., Zach Holmes, Paul Boy Green, Esden Jr. How about Boy Green? How about it? By the way, Boy Green, who normally joins us on Fridays, he is enjoying Valentine's Day with his wife. If you know what that means. Rockin' Rant, Atlanta Jet fan, Sea Dog McGinty, Eric Greco, Shaft, Card Collector, David, Austin, Justin Wang, all receiving memberships there from the great Rick Kent. Rick, thank you, thank you, thank you. Super chat from Justin. He's in the raffle with a 5 spot.
Oh, nice.
Get me in the raffle. Keep that hope as a Jet fan. That's all we have as Jet fans. Maybe one day we'll be rewarded for our loyalty to this franchise. Wouldn't that be nice? Uno Jets with a super chat. Rodgers came to New York because he believed in our team. He really wanted to win a Super Bowl for us. And he knew what it would do for his legacy, too. He saw this team as a team that had a real chance. This team kicked his ass his last year in Green Bay. They went in the Lambeau, and that defense dominated the Packers. Quinnen Williams had one of the best games Jet defensive tackles had in 25 years that day. They blocked a punt that day. Breece Hall went off. That was a great win. Sauce as the cheesehead. This was an up-and-coming, awesome team that Rodgers wanted to be a part of. And then being a Jet fan happens. It sucks. It does. JV writes in, Glenn is a massive failure. What we're not going to do is act like Aaron Glenn is a bad coach when it's February 14th and he's never even coached a game yet. All right? I get it. You're angry, JV. You wanted Rodgers back. But come on, man.
I'm going to stick my whole fist up your ass.
Come on, man. What are we doing? By the way, raffle prizes. People in the chat, comment. Would you guys want a full-size helmet again, or do you prefer signed stuff? Obviously, full-size helmets are expensive. But would you rather this be a prize, so you just have your own full-size helmet, or do you prefer signed stuff? Jerseys, helmets, trading cards. Let me know. Always looking for feedback. All right. Load up your calls on the Gusbuster hotline if you want in on the conversation. We will get to them right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton starts us off today. Hello, Kyle.
What's going on, Jake? I wonder if on that list of what ifs, whether Warren Sapp was on there with the Kyle Brady draft.
Let's see. It is not on there.
That's disappointing.
Their number 7 is the Jets took Marino over Ken O'Brien.
Well, that for sure, yeah.
I'm just looking at the draft-related ones. Number 14, the Jets drafted Patrick Mahomes instead of Jamal Adams in 2017. Those are the only draft ones that I'm seeing on here.
All right.
Actually, that's not true. What if Peyton Manning came out of college in 97 and went to the Jets?
Right, there's one. I mean, I understand people are frustrated that Rodgers isn't coming back. Aaron Glenn made three Pro Bowls for this team. Let's give him a little bit of space. I mean,
you got to give him a chance.
Yeah, you got to give him his due respect. He actually was an accomplished player for this team. I'm with you. I wildly appreciate what Rodgers did by coming here, what he was attempting to do by elevate this franchise. He knew what it meant. It would have been great if it would have been like any of those other outcomes, but it wasn't. And there's not much we can do except move past it. That said, I'm really excited for what Muji and Glenn can bring.
Are you?
Yeah, I am, because you know what? I had no faith in Salah whatsoever. After about 2 years, I think it was maybe the Detroit game at home where we were playing some sort of prevent defense, and like I didn't feel like he managed the clock that well. There was just something like off about him in game situations. There was no adjustments. It was, all the rotation on the D line. He was not my cup of tea as a head coach. I prefer a little fire. I prefer someone who's a little bit more deft with the media, and we've seen that Glenn is at least that. Someone who can get out of their own way, which he could not do at all. I thought he was just like he kept on stepping in bear traps, like a what was the thing he said on? I don't know if it was the fan about like the fifth, like that kind of stuff drove me nuts about Salah. And I kind of liked Joe Douglas, and like most of us, I thought that this is a pretty good team. So I thought that it was really the coaching, and I want to see what good coaching can bring us. And I can't begrudge these guys for wanting to move past Rodgers because they want to put their own stamp on the team.
They better be right. They better get a quarterback because they won't be
well,
here long.
That's for sure. I'll talk to you soon, Jake.
Kyle, appreciate it. Time is ticking. That's the bottom line. They got to get a quarterback. They won't survive without one. No regime does. Mother effing Chew has re-upped his channel membership. He is now an Asmaniac once again. And by doing so, he entered himself in the Asmaniac raffle. Chew, welcome aboard.
Choo, mother effing chew.
Hit the like button if you're still watching the show. If you're just tuning in to today's show, today's poll question is, did you like the video and subscribe to the channel? Yes has 74% of the vote. Second option is, duh, I'm not a butthole, is at 26%. It's interesting. There's 157 votes, yet there's only 132 likes. Once again, the math is not mathing. Some of you guys are just straight up lying about this poll. Straight up lying. My Holy King says Jets will be fine. Based on what? Exactly. I hope you're right. I'm just curious. What is that based on? Graham says, I can't wait till we never talk about AR again. Well, the only way to not talk about him is the win. Like, I loved the 09 year because we were winning with Sanchez. I didn't care that Favre went to Minnesota and was great. I'm going to be really annoyed when Rodgers goes elsewhere, plays great, and if the Jets stink next year. I mean, that's the bottom line. You got to win. Rue Nut says, you'll have grayish ginger hair by the time we get this bleep right. I don't think I'll have any hair left. All right? All my hair will be gone. It will all have fallen out of my head. If it hasn't, I'll be gray. And I may never see this team win again. I mean, I hope not. I mean, think about it. If they don't make the playoffs next year, which newsflash, they probably won't. That's 15 years without the playoffs. It's insane. Nick says, when we win 6+ wins next year, we can forget about them. No, when we make the playoffs. Or if they draft the quarterback that shows some real promise. Peter Castro says, we're meant for this. Catscale Doctor says, we don't know about next year yet. Yeah, but we do know that the options at quarterback are not great. And we have a first-year head coach and a first-year GM. So what exactly are we supposed to be, like, really hopeful and optimistic about? Hennessy says, maybe we get back to 7 wins. Great. Let's celebrate it. Open phone lines for those of you who want in on the conversation. Gusbuster hotline is open. Purple Belt Mike says, what's the longest all-time playoff drought in the Super Bowl era? 17 with Buffalo. I think the Cardinals had 22 years. I think I remember reading. So we'll see. I mean, could you imagine if there's another 10 years of this almost? Tuber, when would you expect we find out where Rodgers is going? When we get closer to free agency in March? Rue Nuts writes in, I was in my late 20s the last time we were relevant. I have 3 kids and a 14-year marriage and now divorced and now I'm 41. This bleep sucks. Rue, I wish I had a better answer for you. Well, Well, you have 3 kids, right? So I could play this for you 3 times.
Hey, congrats on the sex.
1,
Hey, congrats on the sex.
2,
Hey, congrats on the sex.
3. Man, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Hit the like button if you haven't. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Open phone lines, no wait time. If you're a first-time caller, they say there's never been a better time to call in for the first time than on Valentine's Day on the Jake Asman Show. They do say that. It's time to unleash the beast.
You know what time it is? I'm Beastbreaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
How are you, Beast?
No, not quite there yet. He's about another 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get ready for tonight's game, for the next game, have a nice little garlic knots. Yeah, this is the best way to go. Some good old garlic knots. Go with a nice good garlic knot. Some good old fashioned tomato sauce. Sicilian style, baby. This pizza will be done in the next 5 to maybe 10 more minutes. I already have it cranked. Let's keep the party going, and let's turn up Valentine's Day and make it a nice, spicy, romantic kind of day. Oh yeah, Mama Mia. And let's wish our boys good luck, and let's go out there and get some talent. Let's not worry about this. Do you see this Mama Beastbreaker crap? I'm not buying none of it. Not one word. Not one word. No. This pizza will be ready in 10 minutes. And if we can get Gary on the line, let's see if he got his pizza ready. Come on, Gary. Let's see if you got pizza ready for you. Let's see what you got. Do you have sausage? Do you have pepperoni? Do you got peppers? You got mushrooms? What do you got? What do you got for me? My kitchen right now is a little under process right now. We're getting ready to put the pizza. I have to wait 10 minutes, okay? Be patient. Wait. When it comes, it comes. Everything has a purpose. You gotta think. If you don't use this damn thing, you're not worth the effort. Now, it's time to have a little of this. Garlic knots, baby. Delicious. But you know what goes good with a garlic knot? I wish I had a beer back then, but I can't have it no more. No beer for me. It can't, but my stomach can't muster that anymore. No. But, if we have the money, let me just say this right now. $49 million in cap space. Okay, what do you want to do with it? What I say is, I still say we could add maybe 9-point-something billion dollars, and then we'll get some fresh new baby talent. There's a lot of flat foot dead weight on this team that needs to say bye-bye to. Yeah, there's a lot of flat weight dead weight. Greg Zerline, please go away. You suck. You're not worth the time. You missed 6 field goals. You suck. And Ryan, if you had a slice of my pizza, you on your knees and pay the homage. And I'm not talking to you, Boomtown. I'm sorry, but here's a garlic knot for you. On your lips. Eat this, kid. Delicious. Now, Jake, let's get to another caller, shall we? I'll show you a pizza in 10 minutes, okay? 10 minutes. Please give me 10 minutes, okay? 10 minutes.
Beastbreaker 666 $50 will send his ass to the hole where there's no gabagool.
One day, Beast will figure out how to get better internet. One day. What a pizza he's making, huh? What a pizza. JD Surf City says, we go from Kyle to this. I can't control who's on hold. There's nobody on hold right now besides Beastbreaker. Mama Beastbreaker says, save me a slice, honey. I'm starting to think you're not Beastbreaker's mom, Mama Beastbreaker. Abu Dhabi Jet Fan with a $10 super chat. Jake, sadly, someday you might look in the mirror and see Joe B staring back at you. Oh, the pain. God. At least Joe has seen them win a championship. He saw Super Bowl III. He was a fan then. He was young, but he remembers it. He watched it. And it's just brutal. Just brutal. Hopefully Aaron Glenn's the guy. Hopefully he is.
I hate this team. I hate them. I hate them.
What's funny? That video's from 2008. Think about how much bad it's been since 08. 08 was the good times, man. They were in the playoffs in 06, 04, 02, 01. 10 years prior to that, it was the 98 season. JV writes in, narrative flipped, AR seen as top QB for others. Yeah, I'm sure. He'll go to the Steelers, win 10 or 11 games, and go to the playoffs. Wouldn't surprise me. I'm not going to be surprised. If he goes to the Vikings, I wouldn't be surprised. The irony if he goes there, I don't think it's going to happen, but I am fully expecting that. Double R with a super chat. Kicker cost us 3 games. Defense 2-5 with the lead in the fourth quarter. Worst offensive staff ever, plus most drops and penalties in the league. It's the 4-time MVP's fault. Preaching to the choir. Now, Rodgers is not blameless, but I also think it's conceivable that he'd be better next year with a better team around him, better coaching around him, and another year removed from the Achilles. But no, we had to move on. Mike D's Nuts spends $10 to write in. Jake, love the mustache. Mike, I appreciate it. It was a Super Bowl stash, but here we are 5 days later, and it's still around. Mike D's Nuts, everybody. D's Nuts. Once again, open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. Andrew says, trade Brees for picks. What do you think you're getting for Brees Hall? Tell me. Someone offers me a first-round pick? Sure, I'll trade him. Do I think we're getting a first-round pick for Brees Hall? No. Matt Ryder says Jake Gorman. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, his presence was requested. Beastbreaker asks, and he receives.
Plants are trying to kill me, so I think I'll eat a stick of butter.
All right, please don't bring him on. I mean, it's yourself. You can do what the hell you want. I'm just asking you, as a friend, for a personal favor. Don't bring him on right now. All right? I'm trying to understand. I'm not ducking smoke. I will do the pizza cooking contest. I can cook a pizza in my oven. It's not going to come out good. So, like, you want a pizza oven? I can do it on the barbecue. They're not bad. But, like, how does he want to have this pizza contest? Like, I'm not ducking smoke. I'm just trying to understand the rules of the contest.
Well, how am I supposed to answer these questions without bringing him on to ask him to find out?
He'll be on again later. I'm certain.
Beastbreaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he'd gabagoo.
Thanks, Jake.
Get ready. Here you go.
I want to see the pizza. I do want to see the pizza.
Look at that pizza, baby. Fresh. Garlic nuts and a fresh pizza.
He didn't make this. He took this out of a box.
Nope. Stripped the whole thing, kid, from top to bottom. Stripped it. Took the fake cheese and the fake sauce off. Used pecorino. Used provolone. Used mozzarella and also shredded mozzarella and fresh tomato Sicilian sauce. Fresh pepperoni, fresh sausage, little oregano, little Italian seasoning. In the oven, 20 minutes, 400 degrees. And also at 400 degrees, you know what these are? Little garlic knots. Delicious.
I like garlic bread. I like garlic knots.
Garlic nuts, baby. Let me just say this. Garlic nuts and a pizza for a New York Knicks game. Now that is what I call Class A, class act. So what do you think of that pizza? What do you give a grade? Give me a grade. Come on, Gary.
I gotta taste it. On the eye test, it looks okay. What kind of oven did you use? Just like a regular.
I have an old time oven, which is it's gas only, and
Gas
not
oven,
this new
okay.
stuff. I'm a gas guy. I like fresh gas in the oven, and I always want it right on spot. And remember, Gordon Ramsay will tell you the same thing. Never, ever put your oven to 500 when you're cooking a pizza. You know why? It would taste so burnt. It would taste like garbage. That's why you put it 400. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. You guys want a pizza? Seriously? I'll tell you what. You come to Chicago, and I'll give you guys a real man's pizza right up front, and grab a 6-pack of Pepsi or Dr. Pepper or some Slicer or C. Hey, we'll all get down and we'll get funky, but I'm not talking that kind of weird funky. No. We're gonna have fun having a man's pizza. I'm talking real man's pizza. If you want the best, you see the best that's right here. I can cook. I can hit a baseball. I can box. Come on, Gary. You've seen me box. So come on, you know me.
It wasn't good. Your baseball swing was fine. The boxing was not good. Wasn't good. It wasn't good.
It takes experience, my friend. I used to do MMA in my heyday. I have a 4-1 record.
So yeah,
thanks for bringing them on, Jake.
He made a hell of a pizza there.
He said he cooked it for 20 minutes. We could easily disprove this. It wasn't 20 minutes ago that he even called. So how did he cook the pizza for 20 minutes?
I think he was already cooking the pizza when he called in.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Okay.
He said call back in 10 minutes.
Well, yeah. Well, if I'm using a pizza oven, it only takes 8 minutes to cook a pizza. Typically, 20 in a conventional oven, which he was using. It's possible. I think it was DiGiorno's or some frozen.
Hey,
pizza.
hold on 1 second. Mr. Jet Keys goes, is this Jets talk? Hey, the Jets went 5-12 and got rid of Aaron Rodgers. There you go. You got your Jet talk. Continue, Gary.
All right. I'm thinking that was a frozen pizza that he heated. It didn't look bad, but did that look like he made it to you? Does that look like that he made that pizza to you?
Yeah, it looked fresh. It looked incredible.
Okay. Look, the pizza looked fine. I'm thinking, and you should throw that in your poll. Who thinks he made that fresh and who thinks he took it out of the freezer? Although everything he said about making the pizza was reasonable. Like everything he said was
right
fair. Perhaps.
Would you rather eat pizza from Beastbreaker or from a gas station?
Probably Beastbreakers. That didn't look bad. This gas station pizza thing, I grew like 12 heads. All that happened was that I said gas station pizza was better than anything you could get from KFC. What the hell? Burger King,
McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King.
Yeah, that's all I said. And then that came in. I was a gas station pizza connoisseur, aficionado of gas station pizza of some sort. No, I'm just saying it's. And I actually have to retract that statement because I was just thinking of the burgers and the chicken. The ice cream from McDonald's is clearly better than gas station pizza. So I actually have to retract that statement, but I just wasn't thinking about that. But to be fair, the ice cream machine at McDonald's is always broken, so you can't really even count that. It's like having a quarterback who's always injured. You can't really count on that.
Couple statements here from username fake tough guy Rob V. Gary, stop ducking the smoke from Beastbreaker.
I'm not ducking smoke. Let's figure out how we want to do this. I just want to get the rules right. I'll make a pizza.
Fake tough guy Rob V writes in, Gary gives such outrageous takes he can't remember half of them.
I just remembered the take. I gave you the take.
We thought it was KFC at first.
Whatever. Does it really matter?
KFC is a different kind of fast food versus Wendy's, McDonald's, and Burger King.
Yeah, KFC is trash and Wendy's is phenomenal.
I don't think it's trash, but I think Wendy's is better.
Does it have better chicken?
I will take a Wendy's chicken sandwich or a Wendy's chicken nuggets over KFC. I would. Now, I know a lot of people might disagree. That's okay. A lot of people have disagreed a lot with me lately on this show. But
what about Popeye's chicken?
Popeyes, I actually think I like KFC better than Popeyes.
Really?
Yeah, but I like Chick-fil-A better than all three of those things we just discussed.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A won. Popeyes too, and then everything else to me is basically like unedible. You don't like?
No, I like Popeyes. I just have a very high regard for Chick-fil-A and Wendy's.
Okay, I don't get the Wendy's things like that. That's like between McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's. I would probably
Wendy's
put
sweet and
last.
sour is incredible.
I'd probably put Burger King would definitely be first because at least it's flame boiled and tastes like food. But
And they might employ Bobby Midnight.
Well, he's got to interview at McDonald's too, so they're going to have to compete for his labor. They're going to have to bid against each other. We need to get someone to negotiate for him. Jake, do you know anyone that can do that for him? Get him.
I think I should do it.
I think you should too.
We'll do it live on the air.
Burger King and Wendy's against Burger King and McDonald's against each other, and jack up the price on Bobby. We'll have him paid $40 an hour before this is all said and done.
Well, we just need Bobby to actually get the job first. That's the thing.
Oh, he's going to get the job. Have you seen my boy Bobby?
I have actually, yes.
Who wouldn't want to hire him? Now it's just a matter of how much.
Someone whose nose functions.
All right. I mean, but Bobby can do all these other things.
Right. But the interviews have been virtual. If he has to go in person, we got to make sure he smells good.
Well, his shower is where his hot water's back on. He's good. He's showering daily again, I believe.
I hope so.
I think he's showering. He'll only shower before the interview. I would imagine the in-person interview. Yes. I would imagine.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. Happy Friday, happy Valentine's Day, Jake. What are you doing for Valentine's Day today?
I'm working, man. I'm on the radio tonight till 9.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I'll be going out after, I believe, but I'm working, man. So congrats to everyone on all the sexual relations later. And
with a young lady? You got a little date with a young lady?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I'm working.
No. I said after though. You said you're going out after.
Yeah, I'm meeting up with some people, but there's no specific. Would you say young lady?
The young lady, yeah. Or
it sounds weird. It sounds weird when you say young lady.
Maybe that's what you're into. Older ladies. I mean, I'm not judging here. Maybe you like older ladies. That's fine too.
Gary, my last name is Asman, not Wilson.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So you like what's your sweet? What's your sweet spot? What's your hot zone for dating? 20 to 25, or do you like to look close to your age?
I mean, I definitely prefer younger than old.
Younger is better, but like how young? Like 20 or like close to your age?
The way that you've been able to like completely botch these questions in an attempt to get information is impressive.
It's not my best call, but
I appreciate the self-reflection.
I got my wife a carnivore cookbook and a new vacuum for Valentine's Day.
Really?
She's gonna be happy. Yeah.
What did you get Decker? Or did she do anything for Valentine's Day with the family?
No, the boys get her a card and flowers and stuff like that. We're trying to. I don't get her anything. I do, but it comes from the boys.
I see.
From my sons. We've always done that.
And did Decker sign a card for your wife as well?
She did.
Nice.
Try to.
Yo Holmes says a new vacuum. How romantic.
And a cookbook, so that you can cook and clean for me.
You're the worst.
Why is that bad? Right. So someone needed to change the AC vent the other day. Do you think I sent her up there into the attic to go change it, or do you think I changed it?
Fake tough guy Rob B writes in, for Valentine's Day, Gary didn't get his wife anything. He just told her to do the dishes.
I mean, I don't really have to tell my wife to do the dishes. If she wants the dishes done, she's gonna do dishes. I don't really have to. If someone needs to mow the lawn, guess who's doing it? This guy. Like, we have different jobs. I don't understand why this is. If someone breaks into your house, Jake, and you had your wife there or a lady of interest, would she have to tell you to go get the intruder, or would you just do it organically?
Rich writes in, such a romantic misogyny.
Misogynist, I guess, is what he's trying to say. Where's the misogyny? If I hate women, which is what misogynist means, as someone who hates women, I made a really weird choice in who I decided to marry. It's a really strange choice I made.
Ryad writes in, got to be the most self-serving Valentine's Day gifts of all time.
Well, we're a team. One hand washes the other. We're a team. I've been married for 13 years, and in my marriage, the Jets still haven't made the playoffs. So the Jets' playoff streak has lasted longer than my marriage.
Getting the wife a vacuum for Valentine's Day is a bold move, says Tommy.
I thought it was a good gift. Thought it was good. And a cookbook, a carnivore cookbook.
I see.
Which I don't really need it. She likes to make these things that like try to taste like other things. Like she uses like pork rinds instead of like breadcrumbs. I don't know. It's just like eat beef. Like that's really for her, not for me. I'll just eat meat that tastes like meat. I'm not trying to make it taste like other things. So do we have, I didn't really follow Beastbreaker's call. Do we have any rules, any guidelines for this contest? How would this work exactly? And do we even get to the bottom of whether or not he actually made that pizza or he took it out of the freezer? Do we get to the bottom of that?
Once again, you're asking me questions that I don't have the answer to. These questions need to be directed at Beastbreaker 666.
Can we take a poll on whether or not you think they
You know what time it is? A Beastbreaker 666.
Incredible.
Shove it up your ass, and then he got
all right. Where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here? I don't know. Are we having having fun? I think we are.
You had frozen pizza.
It's Friday. It's
you
not
have frozen
Gary,
pizza.
It was not a Gary, relax. It's not a frozen pizza. I got a take and bake from all of these, and I did it by my own. See, you strip it, you take the fake sauce off and the fake cheese. You don't have that. That's garbage. You put a man's sauce on first. What you do is you strip all the crap off. Then, once you get that prepared, you make your sauce. Your sauce is a tomato paste, a 4-ounce can. Then I do 6 swirls of honey, 1 cup of sugar. You give it that nice little thing. Then you go with your salt, your pepper, your oregano, your crushed red pepper. 2 rounds of Welch's grape jam. Put 2 scoops in there. 2. That'll give it a nice
jam.
Right up the Then after that is done, swirl that sucker around, break all that up. Break the sauce up, get prepared, and then once the sauce is prepared, get it ready. Make sure you have a nice little small one like this, swirl it all around. Then get your mozzarella, get your provolone. Also get some shredded mozzarella and also the pecorino that you mentioned.
The pecorino is that's huge.
Pecorino.
That's the difference right there. The pecorino and the basil on top really changes everything. That's the game changer.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And also remember, have that oven at 400 degrees, 20 minutes. You know what? That'll give it that nice flavor. Gordon Ramsay will even tell you the same thing. In the oven, 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, out. Let that rest at least 5 minutes because you don't want to have a burnt tongue. You burn your tongue up.
No.
Now you can't even shit up with a paddle.
Yeah. Now you've destroyed your palate. You don't want to do that. That's no good. I actually
you don't.
I believe you that you made this pizza, but instead of stripping the take and bake, why don't you just go to the pizzeria that near your house that has good pizza and just buy the dough and then make the pizza on their dough?
I do ask for the dough, but they lately are telling me we don't got the money for it. It's like, you know what I do? I don't complain. I don't complain. Number one, you know why? Complaining is not going to pay the bills. It doesn't put food on your table, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help this either. You gotta be a good sport. Do the right thing and use this thing called the brain. Now, let's get down to football. What do you see for 2025? I want your opinion. What do you see? Because what I'm seeing is $49 million in cap space. I would say take another $9 billion out because there's a lot of talent. They're flat foot, and there's dead weight on that team that needs to go. There's plenty of it. I could see it in both the O and D and the kicker. Greg Zuerlein is not qualified. Do you agree? Is he not qualified?
Has he been cut yet? Is Greg Zuerlein still technically a Jet? Because the season's over. Can we just cut him now? Can we just move on? No, Greg Zuerlein's not qualified.
Yeah, I think it's time to say bye-bye to him. He ain't worth the effort. He had the leg. I don't know. I hope he doesn't stay. I don't want him. He is a bum. He doesn't have the Pele leg. He's not Cristiano Ronaldo. He's not David Beckham. And I'll tell you from experience, I've seen better kickers with my eyes closed than anything else. I give you an example. John Hall, he was a great New York Jet. He was one of the greatest New York Jets of all time.
But yeah, he was good.
Also, Pat Leahy. He used to be a part of the Jets. Doug O'Brien. Doug Bryan.
Time it is a Beastbreaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he got
I think we accomplished a lot with that call there, Gary. Super chat that will cut the line here as we get back on track. 5 raffle entries for Jets Worldwide. It's our pal Snowball with this one. When will we accept the fact that the Namath curse is real? I don't know. I'm close to accepting it. I don't know. Boomtown writes in, I have a feeling Gary's going to struggle to receive votes in March from the 4% demographic. Yeah, I can see that. Gary, does it concern you that none of the women out there will vote for you in the tournament?
No, not at all. First, I don't think I said anything that's offensive to women. Maybe some modern women, but, look, you can't be all things to all people.
Right.
I think women like to take care of them, man. I think women like to take care of their home. I think they've been doing it since the beginning of time. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Fake tough guy Rob V says, you will be sorry.
Okay. And one thing about Beastbreaker, when he's naming the Jet kickers, John Holt kicked the 52-yarder to put us in the playoffs against the Raiders. Pat Leahy is one of the most accurate. And then he said Doug Bryan. He does not go. First of all, I played basketball, pickup basketball with Doug Bryan. He's about my size. I would say probably 5'11". He's probably 180 pounds. He flopped in a pickup game at the Hofstra Rec Center. He's a professional football player, kind of. He's a kicker. He flopped, and said foul. It's like, bro, come on. Like, really? This is what we're doing? That's a true story. That's how I knew that 45-yarder, whatever it was, in Pittsburgh was too much for him. Too big for him. He couldn't handle it.
That's when you knew?
I knew. He got it up. He can't. He doesn't have the heart for it. He flops in rec center basketball games.
I'll tell you who would have hit that kick, though.
Not third line this year.
Brock Bowers.
He would have.
Did somebody say Brock Bowers?
All right, more of your calls here. We went from having nobody on hold besides Beast and Gary to a ton of people on hold. Let's say hello to the great Robert C. Hello, Robert.
Hi, Jake.
Hey, Robert. How are you?
Hey. How's my mic?
Not great, but we'll see if it gets better during the call.
It's a little choppy. I know you think there's no way that Sam Donald will come back to the Jets, but that's the greatest hope right now. I mean, somebody like Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, and Deshaun Watson. I think all those guys are washed. I mean, I after that, after Donald, I take James Wells. I mean, James. James Winston, that's it. I mean, I'd like to know what the other. I think. I mean, I think it's either. I mean, I made up put Derek Carr third. So I would say Sam Donald, Jameis Winston, and then Derek Carr. And by the way, does anybody know who Sam Donald rooted for in his childhood? Because the Rams were in St. Louis for most of his childhood. And he had grown up a Raiders fan. Who knows what the Vikings are going to do? I mean, they like to play McCarthy, but they'd be crazy to get rid of Donald after winning 14 games. You know, he played badly the last two. There's no one. I mean, it's really. I mean, after the first two quarterbacks, there's no one in the draft, and they'd have to be really bad when one. I mean, 1-2 games, and even had a chance to beat up Arch Manning, and Arch Manning not even come out in 26. So they're caught in a hard place. I mean, it just doesn't look good. The quarterback situation.
You're the best, Robert. I wish he called it more. I love Robert C's calls. Oh, it's electric every time. Every time. God. I mean, wow. That was something. The comments, I mean, very funny as well. Chat is on one today. I mean, never forget, this is a long-standing history of Robert C. since he started calling the show. Goes all the way back to his first ever call this summer.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us right now is someone with the greatest camera quality you will ever see. Robert C. is up next. Hello, Robert.
So I try to pull up your channel on YouTube. What the Jets need to do is win.
Robert, thank you for the call.
I don't know if that's your camera, if you're hanging out with Weed the People, if you're in a sauna, but that was great.
Nothing's changed. It's amazing. More calls right now. Dave Brigga's on the line. No way. What's up, Dave?
Jake, hello. How are you?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
I'm good. I'm worried about you.
Uh-oh.
This Rodgers really disturbed you, I see, you know? I really feel bad for you. You can really tell it's taking a lot out of you.
I'll be okay.
Really, Jake. I've been around this stuff 60 plus years. You just have to accept it. You have to accept what we're dealing with. I said this on the chats a couple of times. We signed up for it. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? We want to win. We've tried everything. Everything seems to fail. You know? All we can do hope now. We have to be positive. I don't know what else to say. Like I say, 60 plus years, I'm the fortunate one. I've seen the Super Bowl victory, okay? And I'm still not crying like Joe B. I suffered as much pain as Joe B, if not more. He's in New York, so he knows the scene, but I'm out here, and I have to deal with people like Eagles fans, Steelers fans, New York Giants fans. I saw the Eagles parade today. Howie Rose was hitting the head with a beer can, So I have to deal with this stuff. These guys, what can you do? We just have to be tough. I'm just hoping, we have to give the new regime an opportunity to either pass or fail. I'm hoping they know what they're doing. We had a lot of hope with the Robert Sarah Douglas, coming on the scene, but we saw what happened there. A total failure. Zach Wilson being the operative agent of the failure. I don't know. We just have to hope that the Muji knows what he's doing. We all know we need a quarterback. Where it's coming from, nobody knows. Nobody knows. But that's what we need.
That's it, Dave.
I mean,
we
need a quarterback.
I get it. Hopefully they find one. It's just it's
brutal. But you know what, Jake? Rodgers is gone. You saw it 4 plays in. That's when it probably ended. That's when it ended, really. I mean, after that, everything else was camouflage, misfortune. Hey, the guys in the chat, everybody has their own opinion. That's what that's what this is about. I mean, I'm just trying to come in here, and try to bring some kind of, a veteran, whatever it is. I've been around. I've seen it for 60 plus years. What else what can we do? We just have to have hope. You can't be dismayed. Because if you are, you might as well. My nephews jumped off the ship years ago when they became Eagles fans. Okay, so they learned early after the Curtin Martin era ended. That was it for them. because then we just started losing. You know,
They're fake. They're fake fans. You can't
they
lead a
weren't real.
team.
Well, they know that. I told them that. They don't mind. You know, they're my buddies, so we all get along. But you know, it is what it is. But I feel bad for you because I don't want to see you get discouraged. You put a lot of time into this, a lot of effort, and the years are mounting up. You can tell from when you first started this thing. You're aging quickly. They're gonna start calling you old. They're gonna start calling you old like me, Jake.
Dave, you're the man. I hope for everyone we get to see winning football. I mean, I like forget the Super Bowl. Like that'd be nice, obviously. Like this team has been so bad. They haven't had a winning season in a decade. Like think about how hard that is to do in today's NFL.
It's bad. I mean, just you know, you can't sugarcoat it. It's bad. But hey, all we can do now is go. We have to go forward. So don't get discouraged, man. I'm praying for you. Don't get discouraged.
I appreciate it, Dave. Hopefully,
okay. I just want to put my
better
2
times
cents.
ahead.
Okay. Take care. God bless you.
Dave, God bless. The great Dave Brigger, everybody. The man, the myth, the legend himself. I'm okay, Dave. Don't worry. But when I use the words irreparable damage to the fan base, this is what I'm talking about. It's tough to ever be excited for a Jet season again. We'll get there eventually, but like it will never like the last 2 years has to always be with you in the back of your minds now if you're a Jet fan. It's done that type of damage. Let's catch up on some comments here. By the way, did anyone notice in the middle of that Beastbreaker Gary call that Purple Belt Mike wrote in that he was eating pizza naked? I'd just like to call some attention to that one. More of your calls right now. Barbarossa's on the line. What's up, Barbarossa?
Hey, Jake. What kind of pizza is Purple Belt Mike eating? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah,
what are we thinking? Probably a lot of sausage on that pizza, I think. But I just want to say, like, Dave's right, man. Shout out to Dave. He's totally right. We just gotta be tough, and I can't imagine him having to deal with all the Eagles fans. Great gifts, Gary. I feel like Gary deserves a shout out too. You know, he admitted he was wrong, and I literally clapped, and I was like, oh, way to go, Gary. You know, and it's pretty cool. He played pickup basketball with Doug Bryan, but
Doug Bryan flopped apparently.
yeah, that's a pretty cool story. I think that's pretty cool. But you know, just happy Friday, happy Valentine's Day, and I think irreparable damage is a good way to put it. Like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to really get hyped up in the near future for another season. Like, I just feel like I don't want to get let down, you know?
Yeah, it's been so bad. Like in the last 2 years, it's just like they gotta like just show us before I ever believe again.
We got to be single for a little while, I think, before we can get back to getting hurt again.
That's
I think,
true. That's
you know, like we gotta. I mean, I'll still be a Jets fan, but I think I gotta be single for just for a little bit, just so I can kind of find myself again.
No, I'm a lot more cynical now. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude. I mean, I thought I was cynical before this season. Like, now it's like I don't even know if I can get hyped for other sports too. I just feel like I'm gonna get hurt. But where do you think we'll go with our later round picks? I mean, first round pick. I don't even want to talk. I don't know, but in the later rounds, because we have a lot of needs. Like we have needs at safety, we have needs at we might have needed linebacker, tight end. Where do you see us going with like rounds 3, 4, 5? Where do you think we'll go?
I think it's best player available, honestly. Obviously, you have some obvious positions of need. Like, we'll see what they do in free agency before then. But defensive line, whether it's a tackle or an edge, is a huge priority. They have to rebuild the secondary. They need at least one corner and a safety for sure, I'd think, in the draft. Linebacker, depending on what happens with Sherwood, is potentially a spot you got to look at. I mean, look, and wide receiver as well. If Devontae's not here, it wouldn't shock me if the 7th pick in the draft is that wide receiver. So
yeah,
we'll see. It's a hard question to answer because there's so much that will happen between now and the draft.
Yeah. What about Mason Graham? I mean, you said defensive tackle. He was definitely the best of the defensive tackle in this year. What do you think? What do you think the chances of the Jets getting him, and what do you think that might look like next season on our defensive line?
Yeah, I think it was Connor Rogers who I asked about Mason Graham too at Radio Row last week, and he didn't think he'd be there at 7. I don't know if he's going to make it. If he's there, you take him.
Okay. All right. Well, Jake, thanks so much. Stay strong. Cheers to you and all the Asmaniacs, and happy Friday and Valentine's Day, y'all.
Barbarossa, cheers, man. You're the best. Appreciate you. The great Barbarossa checking in. Question from New Q. Any update on the Charles $60 popcorn fund? Did he use it all? I was in communication with Charles, and shout out to several of you who immediately after the show sent me Venmo requests for $60 for popcorn as well. I declined all of them, you bastards. But Charles received $40 courtesy of me and some donations from M. Morris, and I'm told he used all of it. He got a large pizza and soda. And then Charles, I guess, did a review on his channel of the movie, which I haven't watched yet. Ladies and gentlemen, a holy shit super chat has just come through the pipeline from Rue Nuts. This is, how about this? 10 raffle entries with a $99 super chat. Let's go.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
Rue Nuts with a $99.99 super chat. Can you please say happy Valentine's Day? The love of my life who puts up with my jet stuff. To Madeline, and thank you. Happy Valentine's Day, Madeline. Rue Nuts, I'm sure that's his government name, of course. Seems like a tremendous, tremendous lover. And I appreciate his support on the channel. And we appreciate you, Madeline, for allowing him to watch this show. Because it gets out of control a lot of times. Just like being a Jet fan. I'll tell you what. The one thing you could say about any Jet fan is you know they're loyal. All right, Aaron Glenn said we're built for this bleep. He's not wrong. We've seen a lot. And we're still here. But happy Valentine's Day, Madeline. Rue Nuts. What a job by you. Heartwarming stuff right there. Rue. Oh, man. How do we top that? J-Quest writes in, Rob, you could have took her out to gas station pizza for $100. That's true, too. Fake tough guy Rob V writes in, I can't gift a membership to save my life. You have to do it from a desktop, fake Rob V. Try to do it from the phone, it's difficult. I actually saw a recent YouTube analytic that 54% of the audience consumes the show on their phone, which I found interesting. So that's why we added the $20 super chat option from the phone to give people a chance to still get entered in the raffle for 5 entries. Let's see. Dylan writes in, my girlfriend left me because I'm a Jets fan. Well, that's a bad job by her. Why would she leave you? If you're a Jet fan, you're faithful, you're loyal. You should date Jets fans. More calls right now. Paul's on the line. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Jake. How are you?
What's up, Paul?
So it's funny. Everyone talks like, when you look online, people are like, oh, people have to move past the Rodgers stuff. But the problem is the people that hate Rodgers the most are the ones that aren't moving past it. So like what they do is they keep feeding stuff that gets people riled up, right? And so, you look at the Rossini report, which was ridiculous. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, Aaron Glenn's putting his foot down. Aaron Rodgers is choosing a show over the Jets. Then it comes out by Rappaport that that's completely ridiculous. There must have been a ton of blowback because then he pulls it back, which was ridiculous, which is insane because if you watch her actual words, she specifically said that.
Yep.
Then
Rappaport was like, oh, Diana's report is actually right. I'm talking about the aggregators who took it out of contest. No. You actually listen to what Diana Rossini said. She said there was an ultimatum, and that never happened.
And then there's the whole, he didn't want to be here anyway. It was a mutual parting of ways. But I just literally saw an hour ago, New York Post reporting that he was begging to stay. So it's like everybody wants to create a narrative around this. The reality is the Jets wanted to move on. Stop calling it a culture thing. Stop saying that he was a bad guy, that he was selfish. Like, can we just move past it at this point? Like, for me, it's like, I wanted him here, but he's gone. The Jets have made their decision. And like, everybody just needs to move past it at this point. But here's the funny part to me is everyone was arguing the Jets were doing this for salary cap reasons, right? Well, they're now going to spread the cap out from all reports over 2 years.
Right.
Which for me means they're trying to win this year somehow.
That's how I interpreted it.
Strategically, they should, because if all you have to do is go on Twitter for 15 minutes, the fan base is completely in shambles, and no one's going to be willing to accept. They all are saying, "Oh, it's Glenn's going to, it's his business." And this, wait, if they win 4 games, let's see how everybody feels. The arguments that happen right now on Twitter are specifically because this team has not won anything in 14 years. They haven't even had a 500 record in, I don't know, over a decade. They have to at least be competitive. So I just want to know what the plan is. So, like, to me, it's like, if you want to be competitive and you're moving cap money around, you don't have it. Justin Fields is not the answer. Like, there's this argument online about Fields. He does not run a pro-style offense. They're like, oh, it's going to make Garrett happy. He averages 160 yards passing a game in the NFL. Like, that is not an NFL quarterback. There's a reason why he'd be on his 3rd team in 5 seasons. Like, so I don't want Kirk Cousins. I don't necessarily want Derek Carr. But if you're actually trying to win football games, what is your real option? I mean, it's got to be one of those. It's probably, I mean, personally, I would probably choose Carr if he breaks free, because there's a chance you could potentially keep Devontae. I'm not saying it will be, but there's a chance. And if you found a way to get yourself however much money available under the cap, and the goal is to try and be competitive and win games, you have to put somebody under center who is a professional quarterback that can at least manage the football game.
Yeah, Carr intrigues me because of the Devontae aspect. Like, if you can keep Devontae by signing Carr, it's almost worth it at that point over some of the other options that aren't any good.
Right. So, like, I mean, like, Jameis Winston might be fun, but, we're going to lose games 42-35 in that scenario, right? If we're going to suck, maybe it'll at least be entertaining.
That's kind of my logic. I think this team's going to be bad either way, no matter what they do this offseason. So give me the guy who makes this offense the most watchable.
Yeah. And so, but like, it's an interesting thing because there's the narrative that everyone's trying to create. I honestly do not think that Aaron Glenn wants to tank this year. The idea that they would be tanking would only make sense if you're going to eat all of Rodgers' money in 1 year. And because they're not doing that, they're trying to put a competitive team on the field. And so I have to believe that a veteran quarterback is the decision. If they go out and get Hendon Hooker, if they go out and get Justin Fields, to me, I do not see how that's a winning football team. I just don't.
Fields, if somehow it clicked for him as a passer, because he has improved. He has gotten better. I lean with you, though. I don't see it, but at least he's young and there's upside. Maybe they want to run an RPO-style offense with him. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't know what Engstrand is as an OC. He's never been an NFL play caller, so I don't know what type of offense he's going to be running.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible, but like, I don't want to reach for a quarterback in round 1 this year. I just think you have so many holes you need to fill with better talent at the 7 spot than moving up to go get. Ward is talented, but I don't think he is. If he was in last year's draft, he'd be number 6. So, like, to me, moving up and wasting draft capital is risky. I think you probably should at 7 draft defense. They desperately need it. I think that they really need to find a tight end somehow in the draft, and it's a wealthy draft for that. And maybe you take a swing at a quarterback later in the rounds 3, 4, or 5. But like, if it was in my view, I would get a veteran QB. I try to win games. Everyone's like, well, if you win games, then you're going to be stuck at 15 or 16. But there's like 6 guys in the draft coming into 26 that will be first-round grade quarterbacks. You could always move up. So if you go 9-8 or 8-9, and you find the guy you really want,
win games, man. I'm with you. I don't care about where they end up next year. Like, you could trade up for a guy, and how often is the first or couple guys not even the best quarterback in the draft? Like, it ends up being the guy later on. Like, yeah. I'm with you, man. And also, if they win that many games, you feel good about the coach. You feel good about the roster that a young quarterback would be walking into anyway. A lot of times, if you're picking that high at the top of the draft, your team sucks, and you're putting the rookie quarterback in a position to fail unless they're generational, like what Stroud did or
Yeah.
what Jaden did this past year, but that's rare. Like they go 9-8 and then could trade up to get the quarterback. That quarterback's walking into a pretty good spot, just like Sanchez walked into a team that was way better than 9-7. They were 8-3 and then collapsed because Favre got hurt, but they won because Sanchez walked into a great spot.
Yeah, I agreed. I'm really worried that they're going to try to do something to create, excitement and all that stuff, and then maybe make a bad decision. And then you're going to be pushing a rookie quarterback on the field when he's not ready. And we know what that means. We've seen it happen over and over and over again. So I don't know. We'll see. But everyone's like, oh, be patient. Like I've been seeing people like fans shouldn't be upset and they should give patience to Aaron Glenn. I agree. But you have to understand where the fan base is at this point. This is why I wanted an experienced head coach. We didn't get one. Now Glenn's going to have to live with all of the legacy that's behind him. And the reality of it is, if they fall flat on their face and somehow Rodgers goes somewhere and wins, his first big move as a head coach and a GM would not work out, and you'll see a lot more noise. So as a Jet fan, I will give him all the benefit of the doubt. I'm waiting to see their plan. I hope they do something smart. I do not want to see them just tank 2025. Find a way to win games. If you're going to push that cap money, cool, have a plan. And stop sending out stupid social media posts that nobody gives two craps about, like the Valentine's Day shit today. That was ridiculous.
I'm with you. By the way, I'm just seeing the Post story that you're referring to, that according to the New York Post, Ryan Dunleavy and Steve Helling, who's a national news reporter for the Post. That's how big Rodgers is. We got the news people reporting on this. Rodgers, concerned that his career will end with a whimper, pleaded with the Jets to give him 1 or 2 more years in final combos, accepted fate like, quote, a man going to the gallows. He wanted to stay, as we've been saying. This guy didn't want to end on this sour note here. He wanted to be a part of this. I would have brought him back. And he clearly was going to take a pay cut in that scenario. And they were like, we're better off without him. All right, you better be right, because you created a hole at Alec quarterback where you didn't necessarily have to do it.
Yeah. So anyway, I appreciate it. I can't tell you, I'm glad you didn't go to me right after that previous call, because I could not stop laughing, and I don't know if I could have gotten a word out. Who was
the previous call? Was that Robert C?
With Robert C. That was honestly, that was gold. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen on this show. It was great.
He's a legend.
And the comments had me on the floor. It was awesome.
I've always said it, the chat, the Asmaniacs, they make the show. And that's another example.
Anyway, thanks, Jake. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Paul. Good call as always. Paul is spot on. He's a great follow on Twitter, by the way. At Paul Fiore, I think. Hold on, let me find his Twitter. Yep, at Paul Fiore, Fiore. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not surprised Rodgers wanted to stay. Like, this doesn't surprise me. Now it's being spun like, oh, it was a mutual. No, it wasn't. He wanted to stay. He didn't want to go. You think he just bought a house in New Jersey. You think he wants to move again? He wanted to stay. Let's hope that whatever they do, they get it right. J Quest, wait, he begged to stay. Yeah, the New York Post is reporting that Aaron Rodgers pleaded to stay before accepting his fate like a man going to the gallows. Now, I can't read the article because I don't have Post Plus, so I can only see the headline in the first paragraph here, but it's right here. It will be aggregated. Yeah, we'll see. Hope they're right. Snowball is next. Hey, Snowball.
Hey, Jake. Happy Friday. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm calling in because Boomtown asked me to call in. So this is a favor to Boomtown. Boomtown, I'm here.
You know why he wanted you to call in, right?
No, I do not.
Because I don't think you've called into the show within the last 3 months. He wants to make sure you're eligible for.
Great.
You sound thrilled.
We should have kept him. We should have kept Rodgers. That's all. Plain and simple. I don't care what people say. I have regrets. We should have kept him. You've said every point possible about why we should have kept him. I agree 100% with you. But we'll see what happens. Aaron Glenn better come through. That's for sure.
That's it.
Like all of Jets Nation is waiting to see what this guy comes up with as a plan to replace a 4-time MVP, Super Bowl winner, all these good things about Aaron Rodgers. But that's it. Short, simple call. One thing I want to leave you with is this. David T, number 1 for the Asmaniacs for the bracket. Good guys finish first, and David T is the best.
Wow.
So I think strong vote for David T, and everyone should watch Jets Worldwide.
Wide.
That's it.
When is the next Jets Worldwide? Plug the show.
Next week. We'll be back next week. I'm going on vacation tonight. I'm leaving, and I will be back next week.
Where are you going? You're on vacation?
I am on vacation. Yes, school is out, so the wife and I, we are Valentine's Day cruising. So we're going down to the Bahamas.
Nice. Have a great time, Snowball. That's
Have
awesome.
A good time. I wish you the best. And what are your plans for Valentine's Day?
I will be hosting on ESPN Radio tonight, ESPN New York, from 7 to 9.
So the love of your life, radio.
Yes.
All right.
We'll
Good.
be making sweet love to the microphone in the studios of ESPN New York.
Well, congratulations on the sex.
Snowball, thank you very much. The great Snowball, everybody. Bravo. Gary writes in, school's out. It's President's Week, baby. You get vacation for President's Week. Snowball officially eligible for the tournament. JV writes in, Jake's plans, not getting laid. I guess you're, should I break the news to him, guys? I guess Mrs. JV Free didn't tell you. Gator writes in, Snowball might have the greatest sound in the history of this program. I mean, Snowball does have a great mic. Shout out to all our teachers out there. Thunderlip says money is Jake's plans. Cha-ching. That's right, man. That's right. No days off. No days off. All right, last chance to get in here. Then we will wrap up our show. Dave writes in, not enough time in the week to watch so many podcasts. But we find a way, Dave. We find a way. Jay says, it's a results-oriented business and he didn't deliver. Yeah, but he's not the only one that didn't deliver, Jay. And there were circumstances that prevented him from delivering. Zach Wilson didn't deliver either, but the team was better last year. Are we going to try and sit here and say that Zach Wilson's a better quarterback than Rodgers? It's a team sport. Second year off the Achilles, a better running game next year, better coaching, right? Everyone loves Glenn. Better coaching. Can't be worse. That's the argument. I think the people who wanted Rodgers back, you wouldn't feel as strongly as you did if you felt like there were better options out there. There isn't. They're not. The options stink. They're picking 7th in a bad quarterback draft. Clancy writes in, let's lessen the expectations for our new regime because we believe in them so much. JV says it's now clear the coaching won't be better. We can't say that. You got to give Glenn and his staff a chance. I hope it's better. It's no guarantee, though. Man. Beastbreaker says, Jake, I'm ready to talk football. Well, Beast, the problem is I don't know if your internet is ready to talk football. But, F it, why not?
Beastbreaker 666, he's the man who would kick your ass. And then he got
little smooth jazz. It's Valentine's Day. Yeah, we go a little smooth, but let's talk football. $49 million in cap space. That's not what are you gonna do with the rest of the money? Now we're thinking, what do we do now? Where do we go from here? I don't know. I don't know where we're gonna go. Now we got all this talent. What do you do with it? I know what we can do. Go out there and let's go get it. Let's go to those colleges. We got Army, we got Navy, we got Marines, we got the Air Force. Let's go to California. Let's go to Arizona, Nevada, Arkansas, Mississippi, Texas, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, Maine, New York, New Jersey, Virginia, Virginia Tech, Miami, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, anywhere in the United States. We're going to go anywhere, and we're going to look at the talents. And when we take the talents, we're going to present them with this. This is the check, ladies and gentlemen. Something that these boys earn. And when you sign this check, you're signed for life. And when you come to work for us, we're going to tell it like it is. You're going to participate with the team. And if injuries do come up, you're off the field. 3-4 weeks, no questions. You're going to heal. Because we're not gonna carry all the responsibilities on our backs. Can't do that here. And when we bring you here, and if I hear any whining, bitching, pissing, moaning, complaining, and any fights between teammates, and if you don't want to be here, you can go. It's straight simple. If you don't want to be here, you can go. That's all we're gonna tell you. I want to see some improvements, and I want to see some changes. And dead weight that we do not need on that team. And number one is Greg Zuerlein. I'm sorry. The man has no idea what he's doing. He missed 6 goals. I was like, what the hell is this guy's problem? He used to have the leg. Now it's like watching dust. I'd rather watch flies, than put up a Greg Zuerlein. Brees Hall, I love the guy. He has the talent, he has the legs, and he has the power. I do like Garrett Wilson. He does have the speed, but he did that Michael Jordan jump that nobody else had the balls to do. I mean, that one-handed catch. Does anybody remember that? The one-handed catch where he just lifted his arm and just caught it like that?
Hey, Beast, give us a reenactment of the catch. Give it jump backwards onto your bed.
That's okay. Let's do that here. Okay, here comes the catch. Garrett catches. Oh, he got a touchdown.
Yes.
You know what time it is? A Beastbreaker 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gobba go.
Oh, come on. That was incredible. Man, I saw the Garrett Wilson catch live. That was better. Amazing. Happy Friday, everybody. What a show. I'm on the radio in an hour. If you want more Jets, I'll talk about this New York Post Rodgers story on the radio tonight. And then when I actually get access to the full thing and I read it, I'll form a stronger opinion for tomorrow. Anyway, thank you, everyone who watched. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you don't like the video and subscribe to the channel, Beastbreaker is going to jump on you. And you just saw what that looks like. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. Happy Friday. Congrats on all the sex to everyone out there in advance. Shout out to Boy Green, who canceled today's weekly spot to go do that.
Hey, congrats on the sex.
Have a great night. Happy Valentine's Day again. You guys are awesome. Best listeners, best fans. We're back tomorrow. I'm on the radio tonight. Go Jets, everybody. Jets. 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 Jets.
Bobby, good morning. How are you?
First, the Jets, okay? I wanted to see what you think about the Jets draft choice, and I got a choice that you might wanted to hear from. Like Knoble from college, he's supposed to be good. He plays both ways. He's from college. Did you ever hear of the guy?
Bob, you know what? I got to be honest with you, and I thank you for the phone call. There's a lot of guys who play in college. I'm not familiar with that name that you threw out there, to be quite honest with you. You guys know who he was talking about? because it totally escaped my mind. The two-way prospect playing Ironman football, which, like I said, not too familiar with there.
It went on so much further than I ever thought could be possible. It's some of the best shit I've ever seen.
Plenty on the table. Up to Vermont we go. It's Bob. It's the fan. What's going on, Bobby?
Hey, Moose, I heard about this player called Knoble from college. Do you ever hear Knoble from college?
No, who's that?
His name is Knoble. He plays both ways from college.
No, I don't know who you're talking about.
You never heard of Knoble?
No. And Bob, thanks a lot for the call. It's been forever.
On the 2022 draft pick, the pick goes to Knoble out of college.
Hey, congrats on the sex.